Hello, everybody. I hope all is well with you today. I am Demetra K of the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. I'd like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also, thank you so much to my beautiful moderators for holding down the comment section. You are much appreciated. Today, we're going to be continuing our conversation that we were having yesterday in regards to a MAGA group per se infiltrating a HBCU yesterday and, playing the victim and all of that. Well, of course, they've garnered a lot of attention from that. And I think that was the intended purpose for them to get attention. And they basically said they're not going to stop. One of them visited Jason Whitlock. Of course, he got to be having all the anti-Black people on his show, even though he appears to be Black. And then they stopped by Newsmax, one of them. Well, they both did, actually. And basically saying, yeah, we're going to keep going. So, of course, we'll get into that just a little bit. But let's see who's on here while we wait. Deanna, can you bring me that book? The book that I'm reading? I want to show y'all something. African Native, how you doing? Hope you're well. One who cares what's going on with you. Black Rose, how you doing? Says, debt, what? Being Black, if they want to help, then send some of Turning Point money over. Yeah, right. I don't even know if they get any Turning Point money. I think that's what they're aiming to do, to kind of like do their own type of thing. He says they can keep all that lip service to themselves. Thank you, Deanna. If it doesn't pay the bills. Troy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Tracy, what's going on with you? Fair Use, how you doing? Craig in the building. Easy E, how are you doing? Brother Samuel, hope you're well. Josiah, what is up? Carrie, Rain Love, you've been working, huh? Because I haven't seen you on here in a long time, but I hope you're well. Chalk Chick, what's going on with you? Entree, I haven't seen you. I see you kind of like comment sometimes after we're off, but how you doing? Terry, how are you? And LaMonica. And Tracy says, well, Day of Remembrance for Charlie Kirk just has passed. Oh, did it? I didn't even know I thought they were doing the one on October 14th. That goes to show you how much I'm paying attention. Jersey Rick, how you doing? Sister Shirley, haven't seen you in a minute either. So anyway, while we're waiting for everybody to come on, I am reading this book. Hey, Brina. Mad Marks, what's going on with you? I'm reading this book. Now, some of you are probably wondering, well, how did you get it? Well, I have a couple people have asked me about it, right? Like, what do you think of this book? Because I saw this, somebody say this on this interview and da-da-da-da-da-da. So one of the last people that asked me about it, I say, if you really want my opinion, then you buy me the book. And they did. So that's how I got it. So I just started reading it kind of like yesterday. But I will tell you, it's pretty interesting. I must say it's pretty interesting. She's a good writer. I mean, if indeed she wrote it herself, it's interesting. Some of the stuff that she's talking about in the beginning, in the very beginning, it's kind of like we already knew these things, but she's really just kind of just letting it all out, just telling. She's not holding back from what I can see in this book. So what I plan to do is when I get a little bit further along, I'm going to kind of tell y'all what I read, because I know most of y'all won't buy the book. But I just feel like I can listen to everybody talk about them reading the book and these interviews here and there. But I'm like, well, I'll read it myself and give my honest opinion to you all. So we'll see. Tracy says, I will not read anything with her name on it. Well, sometimes you got to read stuff you don't necessarily agree with. Trust me, I've read a whole lot of books that I didn't care to read, but I've learned a lot of things from them. Mr. Ernest, how you doing? Hope you're well. Albie Chill, what's going on with you? Mama T, how you doing? And Odd Negroes, how you doing? It says October 14th, Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day. They have officially gone off a cliff. Yeah, y'all know what we're going to be doing on that day. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. And I probably will try to get out of here at 6 o'clock because your girl is tired. Anyway, so of course, we talked about yesterday a group by the name of Fearless Debates Tours. Now, they just sprung up a couple of weeks ago after the death of Charlie Kirk, the CEO and the founder, I guess, if you will, of Turning Point USA. Now, of course, you guys know that Charlie Kirk used to visit college campuses and have debates with the students and people like that. on the campuses from a whole host of topics. Many people deemed to be very anti this, that, and the other, right? There's a lot of people did not like what he was talking about. Unfortunately, somebody took his life, which nobody is condoning or even celebrating that at all. Well, from that, this particular group was like, okay, bet. Now it sounds like there's a couple other groups and stuff. I even saw Megan Kelly. She's out there. She's like 54 years old, 55, something like that. And she's at these college campuses. She's debating these kids. And, you know, of course, she's talking over them and stuff. It's like, okay. So anyway, this fearless debate group, again, y'all know they went to Texas State University, HBCU, set up shop unannounced and without permission. And they had up signs that basically said DEI is illegal and deport all the, you know, illegals and all this other stuff. It's talking about stuff that absolutely had nothing to do with those kids there at the HBCU. And from that, there's been a lot of conversation, I will say. Fox News has picked it up, Newsmax, and I'm going to show y'all a couple of clips in just a minute. Of course, some politicians, some Republicans like this cat here, Representative Andy Ogles, and I showed y'all a tweet from him yesterday, but this is what he said today. And he says, nothing but respectful conduct. And he put it in quotation. So like, yeah, right type of thing, right? Conduct at TSU needs to apologize to Fearless Debates and explain how they are going to respect the First Amendment on their campuses. It's like, so basically what he's saying is y'all need to bow down and continue to allow them to subjugate y'all, even though you don't like it, right? Y'all need to apologize. And of course, he's gone on. And some of these cats in the Fearless Debate group saying that TSU needs to be defunded because, of course, they cite that the federal government gives HBCUs a lot of money. So they shouldn't be funded because of what they did. And they won't allow civil debates and this, that, and the other. So I was kind of on X last night as I was trying to go to sleep. And sometimes I am. And I saw this Fearless group. They just kept posting and posting, like the members posting. Oh, we just wanted to do this. And they should be da-da-da-da-da. And why won't they allow us to debate? And I'm like, man, y'all sure have a hard time hearing the word no, huh? I'm like, no means no. Like, you going to force these kids to debate y'all? They don't want to debate you, right? So, of course, as I said, they're getting a lot of attention, which is what they wanted. They're playing the victim. But I will say this. There's a lot of people, even, you know, people that look like them are like, give it a rest. Nobody's buying this shtick that you guys have. You all went on to this HBCU to traumatize and terrorize Black students with stuff that had nothing to do with them. It's a grift, right? But then, of course, there's a lot of people that look like them are like, yeah, they need to be defunded. All right, let's take this joker down. Okay. Now, I'm going to show y'all a compilation, 2 clips that I put together. One is going to be featuring that of Jason Whitlock. And y'all know Jason Whitlock. He does not like Black people at all. And then another one will be Newsmax and some of the things that they were saying. And when I put this clip up, I want y'all to notice the title that Jason Whitlock has on his, like, you know, little title in front of the video. It's going to say Black Plague.
Do you plan on continuing? Obviously, I think you will. Will you visit more HBCUs?
I don't think that there's the ability for us to actually visit any of these HBCUs for the simple fact that there's massive messages already going around to everybody, to all the HBCUs saying, do not allow these. They're calling us in the middle. They're putting cake. So and again, the problem that I have with that is that if you're a private institution, do whatever you want to. You want to be actual fascist where you suppress the freedom of speech? Be my friend. Do whatever you want to do. The public institutions that are HBCUs, which there's a few of, that take $90 million, like in Tennessee State University, from the federal government, should not be able to suppress my ability to come on their college campuses just because of the position I hold.
We have absolutely no plans to stop anytime soon. Like, if anything, the events of yesterday have only strengthened our resolve and showed us how important it is that conversations like this be had on college campus. We were all very inspired and angry after seeing the horrible assassination of Charlie Kirk, and immediately decided that we needed to get on last-minute flights and do this, because if we don't, who will? Somebody needs to pick up the mic. Somebody needs to have these conversations and continue on free speech.
Okay, so let me remove them. So the first guy, you know, in regards to the HBCU, and Jason was like, well, something tells me you will, right? I'll continue to go. And so it's not like he didn't want to go. I think he's a little scared, right? Because those students at the HBCU there, TSU, was like, go somewhere else, right? So I think they're a little bit intimidated. But then he followed up with that they get $90 million in federal funding, or from the state or whatever it is. And basically, since they're a public school, they should be I should be allowed to do whatever I want. I should be able to subjugate them, go on there and debate with them, even though they don't want to debate with me. So, he's basically trying to find some wiggle room as to how he can get on there because they're public school. Now, of course, the other cat, and their names are Cam Higby and David Kate. I think that's their names. He's basically saying, yeah, we're going to keep going. We're inspired, right? And so, like I said, last night, as I spent some time on X, kind of, looking at all this discourse and stuff, I was like, okay, so clearly they are using Black students, and it's not rare. That's what they do, right? They use Black people. They always have. With our relationship here in America with them, they've always used Black people and used them to their financial benefit. So what they're going to do, because probably everything else that they've been doing has not popped off, and so now trying to go to this college campus and subjugate Black kids, it's getting some attention. Of course, y'all saw there the representative, the Republican, basically y'all need to bow down to them. But basically what they want to do is profit off the subjugation of Black people. Again, that's not rare. It's something they do all the time. But here in 2025, they're like, okay, we're going to play the victim. We're going to use these Black students as the antagonists, if you will. They won't let us. They should, allow us. And I will say this, and a lot of people I've seen say this, and this is true. We have to concede this. Regardless of if you like Charlie Kirk or not, he got permission to be on those campuses. He didn't just, for that I know of, right, from what I've heard, he didn't just show up to these campuses and just put a table and chairs up. He got permission because there was a lot of students who were petitioning against him showing up. It sounds like he would show up anyway, but he at least got permission. But as he said, one of the guys, we just kind of got on a plane and decided to go there. And then on one clip I saw, they was like, well, we didn't even know it wasn't that it was an HBCU until we got there. We learned the night before. So their lies are all over the place. But it's like, y'all knew it was an HBCU. You mean to tell me y'all claim to be so smart and so superior and you didn't even go on Google to see what type of college it was? You knew, right? Because you wore all your MAGA gear and this, that, and the other. You want to have a conversation with them about DEI, to which they do not benefit from. And the other point that we really didn't talk about yesterday is this affirmative action, right? Because a lot of them believe that Black people are the major beneficiary of affirmative action. Well, if they were so smart and they was paying attention and not trying to figure out how to troll people, they would have known that Edward Blum, y'all remember the lawyer that was going around with the Asians and suing, and basically went to the Supreme Court to get the educational component of affirmative action removed. So them going to argue with them over DEI affirmative action was null and void because they don't benefit from that. It's against the law per the Supreme Court. So even think with all that, they were there to antagonize, but then even further that, they were there to make a buck off the subjugation of Black people. And again, there are people, these representatives and stuff, want them to bow down or get their state funding taken. And I've even seen people talk about they should, the students should be expelled and, all this other stuff. And then I've seen a lot of people that look like them. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Y'all going a little too far. Y'all want to ruin these people's lives. And even the kid here is a Black kid here at one of these schools who was, kind of making fun of Charlie Kirk. And he got in trouble or something. I think he was going to get expelled, but he left. But the governor and a whole host of people is like, yeah, he needs to be expelled. He should never be able to get an education. And people are like, he's a kid. He made a mistake. Y'all want to ruin his life? For, they're like kids on college campuses are a little bit silly, right? They're kids essentially. So it is good to see a lot of people saying, okay, y'all doing too much. But then there's a lot of people who are like, nah, we ain't going far enough. So I want to see what you guys think. Again, it's my theory that they have used those kids to make money and, maybe they'll start to get a lot of funding and things like that to go try to terrorize other campuses. But I don't know, it remains to be seen. So anyway, let's see who's on here. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Try to read everybody's comments. I think I left off Mike Nice. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Baba, what's going on with you? Peace to you as well. Tracy says, let me know when she holds herself accountable for her actions in California and made amends for her actions. Other than that, I don't care. Yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet. I haven't gotten that far because, like I said, I had people asking me, well, what do you think about this? I saw her on this, and I said, I ain't read the book. I said, I can't form an opinion off of what everybody else is saying. I said, you tell you what, you buy me the book, I read it, and I'll give you my opinion. And they bought me the book. So I ended up with the book. So I'll let you know. I don't know. It remains to be seen. Willie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says, start that book club. Get these people to reading something. Well, I do recommend books. I can't make nobody read anything. Half the time, I don't even want to read. But I'm not against it. Kimmy, how you doing? Tracy says, why are they having these debates with young adults and not other adults? Little cowards. You said the answer was in the question. Because they're cowards. They don't want to have no real debates. You know, even with somebody like Dr. Umar, they ain't going to pull up to where he's at in the FDMG Academy, right? Go put up a tent and a table in front of his school. Since y'all traveling, right? Go and say, hey, Dr. Umar, we like to debate you about DEI, you know, and whatever else you want. See, they ain't going to do that kind of stuff, you know. But to your point, they're cowards. They're not interested in really having a conversation. They want to appear to be right. And Kimmy says our kids should be off limits. Yes, they should be, which is why it should be a wake-up call to all of us. Like, okay, we really need to start paying more attention to what's going on, because what it is I don't know if they've just kind of run out of things to do, or it's because Black Americans especially have just shoulder shrugged everything. Like, I don't know, what do y'all want us to do, right? And so, I don't know, it's just, they kind of keep wanting to make us the center of everything that's going on, even with, you know, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It had nothing to do with us, which is why a lot of people are saying, well, that didn't have anything to do with us. Why y'all going to these schools and all this other stuff? See, they see them as soft targets is what it is. But then they learn that they're not so soft. Negro says, isn't that the National Guard? Isn't the National Guard going to Tennessee? Are they trying to pop something off? Yes, the National Guard is supposed to be. I know that the mayor, Paul Young of Memphis, invited him. He's Black. He invited the National Guards. Come on down. Now, I know that his campaign had a lot of wishy-washy stuff going on. Sounds like a lot of people really don't like him. But, yeah, he's like, come on down. He's supposed to be a Democrat, right? He's telling Trump, come on down. So it might be, but you know, the kids at the school ain't got nothing to do with none of that. Sounds like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's going to school. Willie says they're looking for a fight with Black people. Exactly. So they're going to go to the fight, right? But I think this has gone over like a lead balloon, to be honest with you. Kimmy says he lost his damn mind. Negro says, are they even allowed to be there? Yes and no. They need a permit. But since it's a public school, they can be there, but they have to get permission, because it has to be like a right time and place type of situation. They can't just pop up whenever they want. But again, because it's a public school, they have to grant them a permit, but they didn't do that. So they don't know what they don't know. He said, Fair You says, ain't nobody got time for that. Tracy says, why is dude looking like Jerry Springer? I don't know. Princess Amon, how you doing? Says they really still bringing up First Amendment at this point. This is gaslighting on steroids, right? You know, and it's hypocrisy, because a couple of weeks ago, it was a whole host of people losing their jobs, right? People was losing their jobs, getting kicked out of school for exercising their freedom of speech, right? The First Amendment rights. But now they're like, well, you won't let us do it. So it's like, okay, just say what it is at this point. Only certain people can say what they want to say, and other people can't say what they want to say. Like, what are we doing here? You know? And those students have a right to say, we don't want to talk to you. Stop bothering us. No means no, right? Like, my God. William, how you doing? Says, why Charlie Kirk is not very good. I'm not quite sure what that means or what you're asking me. If you want to rephrase that, let me skip down a little bit. Hitsville, how you doing? He says disruptive intimidation. Yeah, but I don't think they was really intimidated at that school, because they got clowned and ran off, right? And of course, when they, I probably should have showed the other video, but when they got in their cars, They was like, oh my God. And then I saw some other footage. They're saying they wouldn't let us leave. We were trying to leave. They tell us to leave. But when we tried to leave, they kept on following us. It's like, you shouldn't have never been there in the first place. Don't try to, play victim. You ain't the victim. You just didn't think that you see, in their mind, they be thinking, a black people, like when we're walking on the sidewalk and we see them coming, we gonna get over, or they try to push you over, whatever. So they think all black people just gonna bow down to them. Yes, sir. You hear the debates, man. And also they thought they was gonna get some got you moments, right? So they could, make these little black kids look stupid because they went on there and they didn't get the moment they were looking for. So now they like little Karens running around, crying about what they weren't allowed to do. But again, black kids couldn't go on their campus and do that. It'd be hell to pay. EW, how you doing? Says it was very dangerous going to that college with no permission. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they really want to debate. They could go anywhere in the country. They don't have to go to no college. Eric, how you doing? Says those racists were not invited to debate the Tennessee State University students. No, they weren't. They invited themselves and set up in the middle of campus. And it was just crazy. Renz, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Brina, did I say hello to you? I think I did, but I say hello again. Sherry, how you doing? Says they need to be funded. Why? Because they don't want to listen to them. That makes no damn sense. They truly believe that they own us. Yep. They're going to make us listen to them. Is this North Korea? Yeah, they're not going to make nobody listen to nothing. But see, that representative, you're talking about y'all owe them an apology. It's like, we ain't on no plantation. It was you. How you going to make us give them an apology? Like, we'll give them some, but it ain't going to be an apology. It ain't gonna be nothing physical, but it ain't gonna be what they want to hear, right? But it's like, so what? You're gonna take their funding if they don't bow down to these white boys? That's pretty much what he's saying. You blacks, how dare you? Hopefully, sounds like a lot of people ain't happy with him, because I went on his comment thread and something with Tom Homan and $50,000. Sounds like maybe he has something to do with, I don't know. So people were more interested in that. And of course, they was like, yo, what about them Epstein files? Okay. You all up in kids' business and you not doing the job you were supposed to be doing. So Easy says, yes, they can. Yes, they can if you're not invited. And I know I'm behind, so I don't know what that was in regard to. African Native, he says, that is why I asked the question the other day, is the devil black or white? He's red. Albert Chill says, these people crazy AF. Yeah, and delusional. Panther Strike, how you doing? Says, these are racist punks trying to carry on the legacy of the now dead Charlie Kirk. That's what they said they're doing, but at least he was getting permission, right? He was getting permits and all that. He was going about it through the right way. These cats just springing up and thinking I'm gonna force a debate on you, because Charlie Kirk was doing this. No, that's not what Charlie Kirk was doing. Charlie Kirk was getting permission, from what I understand. Gary, how you doing? Says this dude is a complete sellout. Talking about Jason Whitlock, yeah. But we don't expect anything less of him, right? Talking about the Black Plague. Easy says PDI get government funding also. And let's see here. FM, how you doing? Says Tennessee State is owed millions from, yes, that is true. State for funding not given to them, but was given to University of Tennessee. Yes, that is a fact. They are owed money, but there they are talking about taking the money from them because they need to bow down. Let me catch up. I know I'm so behind. Tamisha, how you doing? Says those clowns will I think he meant be super rich and famous with all the free press and promo they're receiving. Yeah, because white supremacy, they love taking care of their own, especially when they're subjugating black people. We've seen it, right? They'll make them wealthy. You're doing a great thing, and how dare them? So we're going to give you millions of dollars and put you on, that was their goal. That was their goal, to get the attention of, their folks, to put them on. But again, they wanted to use black students to do it, but that's their nature. They subjugate black people for profits, is what they do. They've always done it. So it's not rare. D-Mac, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yolo, what's going on with you? Says this is really getting sickening. I'm exhausted. Same. Shan, how you doing? It says, how are you doing today? I am doing well. I cannot complain. Tyrone, how you doing? Says, well, if they still come, the college students don't have to debate them. Just leave them sitting there looking stupid. And that's what they've been told to do. If they show up, just keep it pushing. You don't owe them a debate. You can't force us to talk to you. This ain't Jim Crow, you know, where I got the yes, yes. But that's the stuff they're taught, right? Because Donovan, he'll often ask, how, why are they still racist, right? And I think it's more rhetorical that he's asking, but why are they still racist? Where are they getting this from? It's like, it never went away, right? This is something that they teach each other and they teach their children. I'll go down there with the blacks because they have to talk to you because you're white. Especially I guess in Tennessee. I don't know. Naima, how you doing? Says a CK didn't get murked by HBCU rhetoric or a black person. It's wannabe white supremacist rhetoric that angered another wannabe that did it. Yeah, and that's what everybody keeps saying. Why are you on HBCU campuses? Why are y'all targeting HBCU campuses? Because again, there was a whole host of threats to them right after his assassination. So everybody's confused. Like, why are y'all threatening black people? That guy that we know of didn't go to an HBCU, and he didn't even talk about HBCUs. Don't sound like he's saying much, but that I know of, he didn't say anything about an HBCU. So how are y'all trying to bring them into it? It's the craziest thing. But then again, consider the source. Mr. South Carolina, it says the movie Bad News Bears was based on an all Black Little League Charleston, South Carolina team that white teams wouldn't play them through national regions to Williamsport World Series, didn't play in championship. That used to be one of my favorite movies and, series, I guess, the Bad News Bears. I actually bought my daughter that when she was a kid, but we lost the set in the fire. But those are iconic. Yeah, and they were good, though. I mean, they had a lot of ups and downs, but yeah, so it's a true story. Negro says, who's funding them? Turning Point or Black Rock? I don't know. I don't even know. I haven't heard anything about the funding. I think they're trying to be like Talking Point. So I don't know if they're being funded by them. They're just kind of like some freelance debate group. I don't know. D-Mac says, that's a modus operandi. It says they will impose themselves to incite black folks on all levels and anywhere where the majority. Next stop, Atlanta. Yeah, they just the kids need to be educated. Don't talk to them. If you see somebody that doesn't look like they belong here per se, alert somebody so they can, give them the once over, get their credentials and their license and say, what are you doing here? But yeah, don't talk to them. Because the last thing you need them to say is they threaten me, because that's kind of what on another interview, so many interviews out there I was watching. On another interview, I think his name is David. He was saying he was trying to, it was Jason Whitlock. So he was trying to say they threatened him, but he couldn't really say it. He says, well, he didn't threaten me, but he took a couple of steps toward me. And he was talking about the guy with the screwdriver. Oh, he took a couple steps toward me. I know what he was kind of, so he couldn't really say what he was being threatened. So I was like, yeah, go ahead and tell that lie. Go ahead and lie. He wanted to, but he really couldn't just give it the old Karen approach. Easy says, D, this is nothing but provocation and antagonism. That's what they do. That's what they do. And they cry victim. They do something to you and they pretend like it was you and not them. All I was trying to, and I just was, like I said yesterday, and why won't they let me? All that minimalization of what they were actually doing. Who, me? I was here just to debate. I just wanted to talk. That kind of stuff. Tracy says, they can get all the funding they want as long as ours don't participate. It will be a waste. And yeah, unfortunately, I've seen some people that look like us talking about, oh, well, you can't go to HBCUs because, of course, now they talking about HBCUs, and particularly that one has like a 32% graduation rate, and they're broke, and just a whole bunch of stuff. And it came from these dudes, trying to talk bad about them. They're not successful anyway. It's like, well, then why were you there? Why were you there trying to debate people who aren't successful? What does it say about you? And and it hits 23. You say 417, and it's probably something I said, and I don't remember because I'm so behind. Easy says they're using reactions received from TSU visit to claim victimhood, censorship, and free speech violation. Yeah, you can say whatever you want. You just need a permission to do it. A permit. You need a permit to do it. That's all people are saying. Nobody even knew you were coming here. But again, I should just be able to do what I want because you're black and I'm white. That's pretty. And then I heard some other stuff about I think his name is Cam, the Cam one, that he's kind of a provocateur in other places throughout the world. So it kind of makes sense. They're trying, they're really trying to get that fame, that 15 minutes popping off. Tracy says, Umar, Whole Food, this one time I will listen and have fun. Yeah, they ain't gonna go there though. Kimmy says, Demetri, I do want to hear your take on the book, but I want to hear how you ended up married to that truck driver too. Okay, for real. I'm gonna get to the bottom of the comments. Lord have mercy. Y'all really want to hear? I've told the story a bunch of times. I'm actually gonna put it in my book, but I tell y'all the story. I think I mentioned it somewhere in one of my videos or something. Easy says prior to CK unalive, they had no interest in HBCUs. They didn't even know what they were. Now all of a sudden they interested in HBCUs. Hey Kevin, how you doing? Eric, what's going on with you? Says the college students should not debate anybody that shows up to their school. Yep, be like, I don't know you. My mama said don't speak to strangers. And keep it pushing. Lance, how you doing? Says they are casing the campuses. These people are wicked. Yep, looking for people they can really just, act stupid with. BA 310, how you doing? Says let them come on campus, then ignore them, then set up their own table next to them, then talk about white on white crime. Then they'll say, well, look what they're doing to us. We just want to talk. All of that, right? And then I saw some sucker, some black dude talking about, black people, he was basically saying that, white people, they won't let you talk to them. You can't talk to them. What they need to do is get their own little black, debate group. And it's like, they doing what they want to do. Why they got to get a black debate? Black people have debate groups, believe it or not, right? But why they got to be doing all of that? Because they won't let white folks go and subjugate them. There's no law saying I need to let you subjugate me. I don't have to talk to you. A Foodie's Guide to Fasting. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. You're not too late. We only been here 30 minutes. LaShonda, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Tanya, what's up? It says, reminds me of the old desegregation video from Central High in Arkansas, except the students were black. I loved it. Yeah, and I think yesterday was like the 68th anniversary of the desegregation of that particular high school, which is crazy. I believe my grandmother, my dad's mom, went to Central High School in Arkansas. It was a long time ago, though. She was born in 1919. So, but yeah. Russell, how you doing? He says, God bless Charlie Kirk and his family. Charlie Kirk was a great American. I ain't know Charlie Kirk like that, so I take your word for it. I don't know anything about him, so I take your word for it. Dee Dee, how you doing? Says now they're trying to smear TSU by publishing the media. I should have read your comment. Income on graduates and where they rank among other colleges. Yeah, that your little feelings are hurt. Oh, you hurt our feelings. So now y'all want to go try to, embarrass them and all this other stuff because they wouldn't allow you to put your thumb on top of them and subjugate them. So now, y'all broke anyway. Well, what I say about you? Just sore losers. You showed up and you lost. Go home and put a little Band-Aid over it and you'll be all right. Just don't do it again. Go talk to people who want to talk to you, but now they ain't this. That's what they are to a T. They check off every box. Subjugation, humiliation, and degradation. If we can't get our way with you, we're gonna do all of that. You invalidation, because you wouldn't let us subjugate you. It's typical. MC Fact, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. All right, Russell. All that. You're very patriotic. Sherry, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Renee, what's going on with you? Says they are sociopaths. That's what makes White supremacists feel entitled. I don't know, but I think there's a lot of delusion, and maybe that's part of being a sociopath. I don't know. Delusional, because it's like no means no, right? No means no. It doesn't mean yes. Doesn't mean you can bully me into saying yes. No means no. I don't know you. I don't owe you a debate. So I don't know. It's just a little delusional. T. Casey, how you doing? Says, okay, when they whoop on, they will stop going. Yeah, but then all them kids gonna be in jail if they put their hands on them, right? Because they definitely gonna Karen out. Matt Mark, she says Texas owes Prairie View too. Yeah, all them schools are old money, especially in these red states, right? Which is where most HBCUs are. Tyrone says, according to the ChatGPT, God is perceived as an empathetic in the Bible, and the devil is not perceived as empathetic. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what how the Bible sums up that dynamics. So absolutely. Let's see who else is on here. My aunt, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Brandon, what's going on with you? Says they were grown men too. One of them looked at least 30. They said they're about 25, give or take. So yeah, about 30. And you on there messing with kids. You know, it's equivalent of going to a sandbox and picking a fight. Why? Why are you doing that? You look silly. Easy says, I think Heritage Foundation may be funding them. Take a pick. They might be. You know, all that'll be revealed eventually. African Native says, back in Germany, when many blacks gathered or walked on the street, the police was on alert. Not even 5 minutes before a cop car would arrive by. Yeah, see, I wouldn't be up in Germany. Monica, thank you so much for the donation. Love it. Appreciate you for that. And how you doing, by the way? Rand, how you doing? Says, yeah, they can't seem to leave us alone no matter what. Exactly. But on one hand, they talk about they're going to go build their own community. Blacks, you can't come over here. But then you go into our schools and our neighborhoods and everywhere else. So it's like, I thought y'all didn't want to be around us. If they stupid, and I'm talking about what they're saying about the kids at TSU, if they stupid, broke, and all this other stuff, why do you want to be around them? It makes no sense. See, again, they were robbed of that aha moment, and we got them. Look at these, you know. They were robbed of that. And let's see, Monica says these people need to leave us alone immediately. Michelle, how you doing? Yolo says that's exactly what I thought. So you're talking to somebody else. And FBA Strong, how you doing? Says, I guess they forgot that Charlie Kirk dropped out of community college, which is true, and was rejected by West Point as a cadet. That's a 0 graduation rate. He blamed DEI for the West Point rejection. And I mean, how many people, black people, actually are there in West Point? I don't know. I don't think it's a bunch. It's probably still more white men in West Point. I don't know how many women were in there, but I'm sure it's still more white men at West Point than women. So it's like, how did that even jive? That you didn't get in because of that? Yeah, maybe you just, you know, there were other candidates who cut the mustard a little bit better than you did. You know, I don't know. Brina says they should be charged or fined for coming on campus. They probably could be for not getting a permit, but they're probably like, you know what? We're not going to keep on messing with these fools because we don't want to give them too much attention. Shaniqua, how you doing? Hope that you are well. King Shaw, how you doing? Says the security at HBCU should have stopped the MAGA dudes. They should have protected the students from the MAGA dudes. Yeah, but again, even though it's a HBCU, so it's about 80% black and about 10, 11% white. So there are some white students, Hispanic students, Asian students. So maybe they were thinking, I don't know, right? They got tables and stuff. Maybe they have some business here because they said they didn't come on with their MAGA stuff. They put that on once they sat down. So maybe the security thought, all right, there's some white students who go here. But then, of course, when they saw the foolishness. Now, the other part of that, too, is when the one guy was talking to Jason Whitlock, he was he says he was debating one guy. So there's a video out there where there was one, you know, black student that showed up to the mic, I guess. And then the guy says, oh, but then like 20 to 30 black girls showed up and they started screaming and this, that, and the other. And then some more people showed up and that's when it all broke loose. It was like, yeah, the sisters was like, get your out of here. Because we know you up to no good, right? So they were kind of blaming the black student, the women students. Randy, how you doing? Says racism is a traditional heirloom to those people. It's passed down. It is. It's not something I'm saying. It's just a fact. Antoine, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. He says Charlie Kirk is such a great American. Y'all gonna get me in trouble. Joy, how you doing? And Ais, how you doing? Lady D, what's going on with you? Says they some bums stay worried about black people all the time, like we are on their dome, right? They cannot not think about us. I get it. We're dope and dynamic. I think about us all the time too, so I get it. How could they not? Because they know they can never be us. So if we can't be y'all, we'll try to beat you. But then the saying is, if we can't beat them, join them. And sometimes we don't want them to join us, so they're just kind of perplexed as to what to do. Master Jeep, how you doing? Says, hey, our little sister, should the invaders be charged with disturbing the peace? They probably could be, but they probably won't be. It's probably just better just like, shoot, because then, then you get people involved who probably shouldn't be involved, like that one Congress person. He all up in kids' business. And then, you get eyes from other people you probably necessarily wouldn't want. So it's just like, they gone. Let's just keep it pushing. Old school, how you doing? Says we need to have some HBCU on the West Coast and get more FBA to move to California, etc. They have one Charles Drew University, small. I consider the HBCU. I thought they were talking about building another one there, but hell, ain't but 3 black people in California now. So back in the day, yeah, that would have been a groovy idea. But I agree, there should be one on the West Coast, a bigger one, right? So yeah. Let's see, skipping down. CB, how you doing? He says they'll try to file a lawsuit against HBCUs. They probably will, but hell, but like as they say, as long as I owe you, you'll never be broke because they're owed money, right? So like when they give us our money, then maybe you'll get some. Good luck. I love you, Justice. Anointing reparations. How you doing? Says triggering PTSD disability check $5,000 monthly for life. You saying that's what we should be getting? Okay. Albert Chill says, notice how they stopped all that segregation talk when they were actually agreeing with it. Right. We with it. Let's segregate. Like, there's not too many black people like unless it's your Jason Whitlocks and your Hodge twins and your Candaces. They don't want to separate, and we don't want them to come live with us. No way. But most black people are like, don't threaten us with a good time. One who cares says, the percentage at West Point is small, but I have a family member to graduate from there. So there you go. Landon, how you doing? So security all throughout the community. EDC. Okay. Enlighten, how you doing? Long time no see. Since they came to HBCU because they were scared to go to white universities because it's not, you know what? You ain't lying. He said it's not safe. Clearly, right? Tanya says we need a black lawyer who has the balls to file a class action FBA versus the United States government. Last lawyer who did mysteriously died, and that's why there ain't gonna be another one, right? Because there's lawyers who filed against the United States government before for reparations. I remember in the 90s, my mom and all of us were in on it. I want to say it was Dr. Claude Anderson. Don't mistake me. But in the 90s, everybody was like, yeah, there's a lawyer. You're going to sue the government. And the government was like, yeah, beat it. So, yeah. Monet, how you doing? Hope you're well. And Ishmael, how you doing? Michael, what's going on with you? Says these sounds like the kind that probably have no life at home or any woman to go home to. These people are not worth debating. They're scapegoating, plain and simple. That's exactly what they're trying to do, but it ain't gonna work. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Mall Bet, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says I find it funny that they hate black people and don't want us in their neighborhoods, but they won't leave us alone and stay away from us. We're like magnets. People are drawn to us, and we don't necessarily want that. They don't know how to stay away from us. What will they do? Like I said, how will they know the latest dances and the latest seasonings and things? It's hard to stay away from us. Boo, how you doing? Hope you're well. Mama T, thank you so much for that. Love and appreciate you dearly. Thank you. I got to the bottom. I might have to tell my truck driving story. Joe, how you doing? Says if you're a white guy going to HBCU Wearing a MAGA hat, you're not there to exchange ideas. And let's keep it a buck, especially on HBCUs. You wearing a MAGA hat, you might as well be wearing a hood. Because some people, especially our people, you know, they see a MAGA hat as that. So you might as well just went on with the whole shebang, the hood and the robe. Just went right on to the campus and say, how y'all doing? Because that's what those kids saw. You know damn well you're on an HBCU, and most of them was probably romping and stomping for Kamala Harris, and there you are in all of your MAGA gear. What did you think was going to happen? You know? For freedom, that's the name. How you doing? Says they just want to yap about crime and single mothers. Yeah, I mean, they got single mamas in their community. It's not just the Black community. Go there, right? Go. Wasn't it in Tennessee somewhere? Where one of their single moms, I guess she was a student. I think it was Tennessee. Don't quote me. She was a student and she gave birth to the baby and put the, without saying, put the baby in the closet in a bag. And y'all want to come talk to us? Sound like y'all need to go talk to yourselves, because that's horrible. Terrible. Albert Chill says, my bad on the typos. I'm moving and grooving while listening. Got to keep my head on swivel. You got to be careful. William says, why Charles can't see the future? He can't see the future. You know why he can't see the future. We don't know what he's seeing. Randy, how you doing? Says they should have been arrested as soon as they couldn't present the proper documents to show why they were there. Yeah, and I think by then all mayhem had broken loose, and so the cops was like, yeah, y'all better go. It ain't, we outnumbered here. Y'all need to get up the road. William says, why Black American or Africa? So you're saying, I think you're saying we would go back to stay or go to Africa. I mean, some people want to stay. Some people want to go to Africa. Tracy says the pale ones are actually have more single mothers than we do. Probably. I'm trying to think of the numbers and how they jive, and I'm not a numbers person. Dee Dee said that was Kentucky. Same difference, right? But you know what I'm talking about. D-Max says, okay, so she's from Kentucky, but was going to school in Tennessee. Okay, I knew it was something Kentucky, Tennessee. I knew she put her baby in a plastic bag. But you want to be talking to Black students, and you know, like I said, talking about single mamas and the daddies and that. We ain't trying to listen, y'all. Beat it. FM says they didn't go to debate. They went to troll. Mission accomplished. Yeah. And the real mission is for them to get put on, right? Fox News and Laura Ingrams and all them and Jason Butter Biscuits, Whitlock, and the Hodge. I'm going to be nice. All of them, right? To give them attention. They get on there. Those Blacks. Did you see what they did to us? King Shaw says, Demetri, do you think FBAs are going to show up big in 2026 election and in 2028 for the Democrats? I don't know how big. Yeah, they're going to show up. It's going to take a while, but to what degree, I don't know. But if the Democrats are talking some good stuff, yeah, I mean, if they talking some good stuff, I'll show up. But if you ain't talking no good stuff, then don't come talking to me. But I think so. I think a lot of people are going to show up big for the Democrats. I think it's going to be a lot of Latinos, even though they showed up for Trump. Asians, a whole lot of people think they're going to show up for the Democrats because they're going to be like, yeah, Trump, you're doing a lot. You got a lot going on. Like today, I was on X, and I don't really like to be on X a lot. And I kept seeing this story of this Hispanic lady. Her husband, I guess, had got recently detained. And she was hysterical, which I think most people would be, right? And she had her children there with her, and there's a couple other people there. And so she's trying to speak to the ICE agents, right? She's crying and she's hysterical. And the ICE agent kept saying, adios, adios. So I don't know if he was Latino as well. So she's hysterical crying, and he grabs her and shoves her and slams her to the ground in front of her children. Now, mind you, there's other officers there, and and they were like, yo, dude, like, wow, type thing. So it's kind of going viral all over the internet now. And I showed my daughter, I said, for me, I'm anti-mass immigration, but I'm anti that as well. So I say all that to say, I think a lot of people are like, while I can be anti-mass immigration, that's not cool. It's not cool, because at the end of the day, they shouldn't be here, whatever it is. But, doing that was crazy. It was really hard to watch, and be honest with you, So I think a lot of people are just going to say, there's a way to do that, but that ain't the way to do it. In fact, they're calling for that agent to be arrested, and it was bad. So, yeah. Let's see. Get down to the bottom. Marjorie, did I say hello to you? Says if word is out for Black families to be careful with where your children go. Law enforcement is going to arrest them if they are hanging out around local gas stations. They usually do in certain areas. Yeah, don't be hanging out in gas stations. If you ain't got no business in the gas station, don't be at the gas station, right? We shouldn't be hanging out no way. Be having something to do and somewhere to go, because we're always the target. But just hanging out in random places and things like that, no, don't do that. It's not advisable. So I agree with you. D Wood, how you doing? Says problem is the Dems have problems of their own. Too many crazies run the party and still support ideas like open borders. That's very unpopular. Yeah, so they talking like that. It's going to be more of what we have now. So as I've always said, most people want the middle. They're not too far. There's some people who are, leftists and people on the right or whatever, but most people want common sense. Rule in the middle. Legislate from the middle. That's what most people want. The common sense. Okay? Common sense is don't open the borders and let everybody in, because then that's going to take money from taxpayers to take care of them. The other side of that is, while you're deporting people, you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? So here, people want this in the middle. I think MC Fact says when it comes to Democrats, you got to take a quid pro quo approach from now on. Yeah, and that should be with anything and anybody. Kelly E says we need to be careful when the MAGA shows up to a school. Yeah, just don't talk to them. Be like, Africanator says the real intent is not the immigration. It is more sinister than we can imagine. I bet. And Sherry says that's right, Demetra. Yeah, there's a way to do stuff. Like I said, I think we should want certain things, but we shouldn't be heartless. You know what I mean? That was crazy. That man, I don't care. He shouldn't be working at Taco Bell with that kind of aggression. You know what I mean? That's crazy. And then he tried to do it to her again, and the other officers was kind of like getting her like, okay, dude, back up. We'll get her type thing. But all in front of her kids was crazy. Melanated Mantra, how you doing? Says the Popo treated Black women with brutality during the civil rights movement, no different from ICE. Listen, it wasn't right then and it ain't right now. Okay? And again, and common sense in the middle. The middle wasn't right then, and it's not right now. Because I'm not one of those people, and I get what you're saying. I'm not discounting what you're saying. I'm not one of those people to say, well, since they did it to them, it should be done to these people. Now, certain people, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Y'all know who that is, for lack of better words. But that kind of thing, I just think there was a way to go about that, because in a sense, you don't see people as humans. And I think that's the problem that I have with them, because it's a natural reaction, for your loved one get snatched up. Just like, on a plantation, since we're doing a comparison on the plantation, they snatched us up and away from each other all the time. And, I'm sure we cried and we screamed and we wailed, and they looked at us like, you're not human. You're a thing. What are you crying for? I know this is your baby, but it's my baby. Because it really wasn't even our baby, if you think about it. Our ancestors had those babies. What was really their baby? If you truly think about it, did those babies belong to the slave women and the men who produced those babies? No, they didn't belong to them because those babies were considered product. Got to remember, our ancestors were breeders. So I see what you're saying, but I'm not. It's not right either way. I'm not saying it's right that they're here illegally. If that's what the issue is, I'm not saying that's right. But I'm saying at some point in time, we got to just say, you know what? There's a way to do that. That's all I'm saying. Brenda, how you doing? It says, my birthday was yesterday. Big 70. My middle name is Kay without the E. That's a great middle name, ain't it? Well, happy birthday to you and 70 more. I told my daughter the other day, I said, I'm 54 and I'm going to be here 54 more years. And she just went. And I said that I'm going to be here 54 more years. You got to be here at least that long so I can continue to get on your nerves. But once again, happy birthday. 70 is a blessing and a major milestone. And I hope to get there myself. Just not too soon, but one day. Yes, indeed. Let's everybody wish her happy birthday. So anyway, I'm going to give y'all my story real quick. I've had a couple people ask me about my truck. I was married once to a truck driver for 10 months. I had to put my fan on because I'm hot. I was married to a truck driver for 10 months once. We known each other for a while. And I moved a couple of places. I don't even know how to start this story because, like, where do you start, right? Anyway, so moved from California to Kankakee, Illinois. Now, if you know anything about Kankakee, you can literally, because I did a few times, walk the circumference of Kankakee, right? And it didn't take that long. I would walk to the grocery store. Sometimes I'd get on the bus, but I like to walk. So I walk around, had to fend off a couple of people a couple times, but it wasn't a big deal. So I moved out there for love. Yes, I did. I'm going to put it in the book, but moved out there for love. Okay. So I was kind of out there by myself because he was a truck driver, right? And now silly old me, I'm thinking, gosh, he's really doing a lot of driving. Oh, he's working so hard. Gosh, maybe one day he'll come back and see about me. Well, I was only there for like 3 months. Nevertheless, he came back like once. So in the process of that, it's going to be a long story. I ain't going to mean to make it long. But in the process of that, as I was there, I didn't have much to do. I think I was still going to school and stuff. He had a bag of like papers. One day I couldn't find him, right? He wasn't answering his phone and stuff. I was like, that's weird. So I went through this bag and he had all these like, because this is what truck drivers do. At least they did then. All these like, it was not telegrams, but MoneyGram things where you could wire money. And so all these papers and these receipts is this woman's name and that woman's name and this woman's name. I was like, Hopper, who this? Right? So I'm like losing it because I'm like, this is sending money to who? So he's not answering the phone. Y'all know how we get, we just keep calling. So I was like, I got to find this sucker. So I went on his Facebook. He wasn't posting, and he's like this, major poster, just lying all the time, not in retrospect, just lying about stuff. So anyway, I found a way to hack into his Facebook. I just, I did. So then I get into his messenger and I find out where he is. Now, mind you, he's got it going on to the break of dawn with a whole bunch of women. And I'm shocked because I'm like, couldn't believe it. So then I call the girl the next day. She's going into church. Okay, she's on the way into church. And I told her, hey, have you seen Whoop? Yeah, he at home in my bed. What? So she said, don't get off the phone. Don't go nowhere. And I can hear her heels. Click, 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 click. She running down the stairs. And she was a big girl, too, because I saw her picture. But anyway, she running down the stairs. Click, 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 click. So I'm on the phone. So she didn't live that far from the church, apparently. So I could hear her going to the door. And she says, your fiance, you got a fiance, your fiance on the phone? Do you know this? I don't know her. What? I don't know her. So they tussling for the phone and he hangs it up. So all right, bet. I'm leaving. This is what I'm thinking. So then a couple hours later, after I guess she, tapped him up a couple of times and kicked him out, he calls me. What's up? Oh, you know me now? What's up? So then, whatever. So he finds his way back like a couple days later. Now, mind you, I told you it's going to be a true story, okay? A long story. So like next 2 days, I'm in shock, but I didn't realize I was in shock. So I took a nap one day, woke up, and half of my face is swollen. When I say it's like half of my head, really. Half of my head is swollen, like my tongue is swollen, my eye is swollen, like I'm swollen. And I'm not knowing what's going on. So I call my mama, because she's a nurse, and she says, I'll take some Benadryl. So I did. Took some Benadryl, and I fell asleep because it makes me sleepy. Woke up, and I got hives all over my body. And so I'm like, what the hell? So then I go back to sleep, and I have more hives. So then a couple days later, I went to the doctor because I'm not knowing what's going on at all. Just thinking maybe I ate something. So go to the doctor. She says, well, you got anaphylactic shock. Well, what's that? She said, I don't know. Did you eat something? I said, nothing out of the usual. So I kind of told her what happened. She goes, oh, yeah, you're in shock. So I went into shock, finding out that he did that. Okay, great. So then I'm leaving. So I did, right? Because I didn't really have no furniture, nothing like that, because it wasn't there that long. So packed up everything, my 2 suitcases that I showed up with. I'm at the train stop in Kankakee. It's like 29 degrees. I'm a California girl. I ain't having no clothes on, and I'm shivering, standing outside. And I'm trying to go into the little thing where you can sit and wait for the train. And I go in there, there's a bunch of homeless people up in there. And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to wait outside. And they trying to grab my suitcases. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go back outside. So I'm outside like a Negro sickle. So finally the train comes, I'm home. Back home in California. This is where I say it ain't all. Sometimes you got to take, So he calls me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm never going to do that. But I'm going to move. I'm getting another job. Because I told you I lived here before in Humble. Live here in Humble. So, okay, bet. Stupid me was like, all right, bet. So we moved to Humble. That's where we got married. Okay. I didn't want to get married, but I had to wanted to get married because I agreed to get married. So we get married at the courthouse or whatever in Humble. We go to Whataburger. We go to Whataburger for our honeymoon dinner. So, all right, cool. We married, whatever. He goes back over the road again. I don't see him, right? Here and there. And then one day I look into his phone. Well, I see some ladies in the phone. So I'm like, what the? Oh, that's my cousin. Your cousin sending you stuff like that? Oh, well, she probably accidentally, all of that. So then the phone is ringing, and he's not trying to answer the phone. So my daughter was there that one particular time, and she happened to look, and she said it was some girl. So I answered the phone, and I took it to him. He's like, didn't want to. So they, end up talking, and so I was like, okay, bet. So it was a lot of that going on. So I'm like, bet. And nobody knew. My daughter knew, and she had to go back home to go back to school. And she says, Mom, I'm getting on this plane, and you better be behind me. If you're not behind me, I'm never speaking to you again. So I was like, okay. So finally told my mom what was going on. Now, mind you, oh gosh, this got to be in the book, okay? I also find out that and then when I do, it ain't weed, okay? It's something else, right? So I'm like, what the? Okay, I can't do cheating and a crackhead. I can't do both, okay? So I called my mama because, money was funny because he drinking. So my mom says, okay, bet I'm gonna send you some money to get the tires, good on the car, the oil change, all you need. So then I call my sister, and she lives in Florida, and it happened to be Christmas vacation. She says, I'm flying there. We getting in that car. She says, pack up the whole house, and we're driving to California. So I did. Drove to California, and, of course, he was we good. So 10 months is how long I was married with all of that. Now, mind you, some other stuff that, okay, so I had the car, but it was kind of like his car wasn't in my name or anything like that. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna come out there, see you. And his grandmama had just died. And I love her. His grandma, she was cool people. She told me, she says, oh, he ain't no good, honey. And when she told me that, I was like, so anyway, he comes out. He's like, I gotta go, and settle up my grandma's stuff, and I'll be back. Needless to say, he came just to get the car so he can go cheat. And after that, the car had broke down, and he couldn't get back or whatever. So that was the last time, I saw him, dealt with him or anything like that. But then the girl calls me, because mind you, that particular girl, she says, well, I knew him first. I knew him since elementary school. I ain't gonna give y'all his name. It's Voldemort. I call him Voldemort. I knew him since junior high, no, elementary. So one day I'm exercising with my homegirl, and she calls me up. And you know what she says to me? I kid you not. Oh, I don't know where he is. Is he with you? Because, I'm like, what the hell are you calling me for? I said, see, it was funny when he was doing it to me, huh? I knew him from elementary school, and too bad. I said, he calling me? I said, first of all, he couldn't be with me with, I don't know, the wealthiest man in the world's thing. Okay. No, he's not with me. But nevertheless, yeah, he didn't want to get divorced and all of that. And so, yeah, I was married for 10 months. There you have it. Yeah, LBJ, he was a smoker. I was blown away. I was like, oh, hell to the no. Now, mind you, I'm a girl of the world, right? I got a degree. I'm like, I can't be with nobody like that. And, luckily he never gave me anything per se, because I'd be in prison, Yeah, Michael, his grandma was right. She was 100% right. And I tell that to people. I said, if people tell you such and such ain't no good, and it's their own kid or whatever, you better believe them, because they know their child. James, how you doing? Said he was slick. Yeah, he thought he was slick. But the joke was on him, because I was like, no. I don't want to be divorced. I said, I don't want to be with you. Okay. And then one day, as I'm, doing my master's program, so when I was sitting on the couch, and I finished my master's in 11 months, because I'm always been like a driven person. So I had my phone hooked up to the speaker, so I could kind of talk and listen as I'm, working. So he calls me one day, and he's on the speaker. My daughter and my niece, I was in the house, so they could hear it. And I was like, what? He said, I want to be back with you. I said, no. So I'm kind of going back and forth. Do you know what this man told me? I'm just trying to get along with your bitch ass. I said, there is the real you. I knew he was in there somewhere. And I was like, get off my phone, man. Tracy, he might still be smoking. I have not talked to this man in years. But I'm writing a book about about relationships. It's actually a really good book. I'm going to be talking about I haven't been in that many relationships, but all the long-term relationships that I've been in, and they all have a unique story. Yes, indeed. Soto, how you doing? It says, live and learn, sis. Live and learn. Yeah, that's why I'm single, because I'm like, I need to really learn, right? So anyway, that was one of my stories. I got a lot of them. So anyway, I love and appreciate y'all. It's our Friday today. I will be back here Sunday unless something happens. But in the meantime, Kimmy, red flags, they were burgundy. Okay, them flags was purple. But one of those things is like when you get married, it's like, oh God, I don't want to be divorced, but it didn't take me long. I was like, oh hell no, homie. Nah, crack and you tricking. I found out this had a bank account with another woman. I'm telling you, it is some foolishness going on that I didn't deserve, by the way. I didn't deserve it. The crazy part is, like I said, I'd be walking all the time. And one day I was on the phone with him because remember, he never really came back much. So I'm on the phone with him and I was taking out the trash. And so there was this guy who lived because we live in an apartment in the next complex over. He would always see me. So I'm on the phone with him and the dude was like, I was on the phone with my husband and the dude was like, hey, can I get your number? I said, no, you can't get my number. I'm married. Oh, let me get your number. And my Voldemort on the phone. What you got on? I know you. Why he asking for your number? I mean, not in retrospect, I'm like, I could have got his number and he would have never known no wiser, but I didn't. So anyway, William says, why better wake up? Well, I woke up. You can believe that. I'm telling you, Brenda, the book is going to be, I've already started writing it. So it reminds me I need to finish. It's going to be good. It's going to be funny, but it's going to be good. It's going to be some life lessons. Anyway, let me get out of here before I tell y'all about another relationship I was in. Anyway, love and appreciate y'all. Peace.